Next question comes from another question from Instant Classic G1. What do you think of Frank Trigg trying to train to become a pro wrestler? Do you think because he looks so much like Kurt Angle it would hurt his career? Do you think it would be a good storyline to have Angle take off some time and be Trigg's manager / trainer? I don't think this is going to. I'm not a huge fan of it because pretty much all the wrestlers from the MMA that tried to get into wrestling, pretty much most of them have failed. None of them has really done good. As far as the best ones, probably Ken Shamrock. Tank Abbott completely failed. Dan Severn, he really didn't do anything. And there's probably a few other ones, that I'm probably forgetting, but not that many of them actually do anything good. So, but it might be interesting. Now, I feel that if someone's trying to become a wrestler, they're not just doing it to gain notoriety in their name, like Frank Trigg's trying to just get his name back out there with the MMA world, and not just trying to get attention, and he actually wants to do it, then I think it could be good and it could work out for him. Obviously some MMA workers I think could translate well into wrestling because for the most part sometimes with wrestling nowadays you see a lot of wrestling try to transcend the MMA world and try to be kind of like MMA like TNA did with Joe and Angle, which I think they really failed at. Sometimes with the Undertaker's submission and the way CM Punk works in the ring, you see WWE try to do it. And, with Ring of Honor. So, MMA is highly influential now, so I don't think it'd be a bad thing. Now, obviously, I don't think it could hurt him being, obviously, looking like Kurt Angle. He does look like him a lot, and I think they've already done somewhat of an angle where where AJ Styles was going to attack Kurt Angle, but he attacked Frank Trigg. So, obviously, you can do something like that, and him being, Kurt Angle taking some time off to train or be the manager of him could work out well. It could keep Kurt Angle on TV so people still, know who he is, and he'll still have a relevant role in TNA. But he's one of those wrestlers. Kurt Angle, he's in such bad shape now, he does need some time off to recuperate and heal from his injuries. And something like, a manager role or a training role like this could work out. So it could possibly be something good. And then the next question comes from I'm Not a Noob. Hey, what are your thoughts on the WWE plane ride from hell? Personally, I thought it was one of the most funniest stories I've ever read about wrestling. You had a shoot fight between Mr. Perfect and Brock Lesnar on a plane, Scott Hall drunk, X-Pac shaving Hayes' mullet, Goldust singing on a intercom, Angle and Vince joking around and choking each other, then Undertaker waking up and choking out Angle, and Ric Flair whipping out Little Naitch for the flight attendants. I just want to know your thoughts on it. Definitely one of the funniest stories I've ever read, as far as, comical stuff outside of the wrestling business. Anyone that hasn't heard that and, just heard what I said, what happened on that plane ride, definitely, one of the funniest moments. And, a lot of funny things happen on there. Obviously, within this incident, I think, what happened with this incident, I think a WWE or, Vince McMahon stopped having all the wrestlers fly on the WWE commercial jet, and then they had to take, just regular flights due to the actions of this. But definitely, a very funny story, and probably, just like you said, probably one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. Then the next question comes from Simpleaser. How bad would WWE have to get before you to stop watching it? Pretty much, SmackDown, I don't watch too much. ECW, I watch from time to time. Raw is just one of those shows that, no matter what they're doing, it's kind of like you have to kind of watch it if you're a wrestling fan. But obviously, if they do something I don't like, I can switch it. There's other stuff on Monday nights, or, I can watch a wrestling DVD, watch, a TV show or something. But, pretty much Raw is one of those shows that, no matter what, I'll probably still watch. And definitely now I'm liking what they're doing with now CM Punk as world champion. And they got some changes that I'm liking. Hopefully they keep with it and keep doing good with it. And then from the same person, what will be your main event for WrestleMania 25? What I would like to see as far as the WrestleMania 25 main event is there's a few things that could possibly be the main event. I think you could have a John Cena versus CM Punk match to headline Mania. Obviously Triple H and Edge. Don't think that could be a main event because I think they're going to have them have a feud during the summer, so that could possibly be something, or something like a Jeff Hardy and Triple H match, or something like that. One match that I want to see, but I don't want to see it as the main event because I think Undertaker as world champion winning at WrestleMania will be repetitive too many times, because if he wins the world title at this coming up Mania at WrestleMania 25, it will be 3 years in a row that he's won the world title, and I think it would be very pointless. Obviously, Undertaker fans will like it. I'm an Undertaker fan, but I would like to see something different than that. I would just like to see, an interpromotional match, have him and Shawn Michaels go out there and have an incredible match. I don't think it should be the main event, but, something, CM Punk as world champion, I would like to see him and Cena, like I said. There's just a few other things you could put, possibly, obviously with Jeff Hardy on SmackDown. I think, a Jeff Hardy versus John Cena match would be a big money match for WWE, but obviously WWE wants to make sure Jeff Hardy is trustworthy again, so they're probably going to have Jeff Hardy build a little trust, so obviously next year you'll probably see someone like Mr. Kennedy or Jeff Hardy probably win the Money in the Bank. Then the last question comes from a freaky dude. What would you say if CM Punk eventually brought in the "I'm better than you" heel persona to WWE? If and when he does turn heel, I doubt it would happen anytime soon. That I doubt he'll tell the parable of the old man and the snake again, though. Definitely CM Punk as a heel in WWE, I would like to see. As far as the persona, "I'm better than you," I think you could have elements of it, but obviously you're not going to have him say "I'm better than you" because MVP is saying that right now, and even though people know that CM Punk said it before MVP, obviously most of WWE's fan base and its casual fans would be like, if CM Punk starts saying, they'd be like, what the fuck is he saying MVP's lying for? That's pretty much what the casual fans are going to think. So you can have elements of it. Obviously CM Punk is a great heel, and he's obviously the best on the mic when he's a heel, but he's great on the mic no matter what. But personally, I would say he's better as a heel, but he's definitely doing good as a face. Obviously, WWE is going to go on the route of, not until the fans start turning against him, or WWE thinks they need to, or his merchandise sales are going down a little. Not until then is WWE going to turn him heel. But he's not like the John Cena type, where I would say WWE will not turn him heel. I think sometime in the future we'll see it, but it's going to be definitely one of those things when he turns heel. I think it's going to be a great thing. Anyone that hasn't seen him as a heel, and anyone that hasn't seen his time as Ring of Honor champion as a heel, definitely missed a lot of good things from him. I would love to see him as heel sometime in the future. I think it would be great. But like I said, it's going to be a little while until we'll probably see that, at least for a while, possibly a year or two until they do it, because fans are still waiting for John Cena to turn heel at some point, which it's almost starting. It's probably going to happen at some point, because WWE is going to have to do it at some point, but it's almost come to the point like it's never going to happen, at least we're thinking it's never going to happen. And yeah, it's the last of my Q&A for this week. So like I said, send any your questions through a comment or a message, and it could be anything, wrestling, sports, or just anything, and I'll definitely do another Q&A probably next week, later next week probably. And yeah, that's it. Peace.